it is Miss Mallory, and I am back for a few stories that celebrate Women's History. It is March, which is Women's History Month, and I wanted to take this time to highlight a few very cool groups of women, and in another webisode, I'm going to be sharing some actual history, some really cool stories, and highlighting some more really awesome women who helped shape our history, our nation, and our world. So the first one I'm going to read is Lumberjills, the Unsung Heroines of World War II. That is by Alexandra Davis. I hope you guys love this one. One pair of woolen socks pulled up to the knee. Two loving parents smile and kiss their girl goodbye. 4 sturdy brown boots running down the road. 16 train cars chugging up the tracks. "27 new girls signing up to serve, with 2 hands willing to work and 1 stout heart." One pair of woolen socks pulled up to the knee. 8 blankets folded neatly to make it feel like home. 200 cheerful girls learn to cut the trees. 400 gumboots muddle through the mud. 2 hands willing to work and 1 stout heart. One pair of woolen socks pulled up to the knee. 2 girls chop and saw and split one giant tree. 1 girl measures well, another leads the team. One cart is loaded high and moving to the mill. 6 painful blisters heal and strengthen over time. 2 hands willing to work and 1 stout heart. One pair of woolen socks pulled up to the knee. 1 sweater, soft and green, warms against the chill. 3 girls burn the brush as well as warm the tea. 400 girls sing while they walk to camp. Five nights are spent indoors, writing letters home. 2 games are all they have, they play them till they're bored. 2 hands willing to work and 1 stout heart. One pair of woolen socks pulled up to the knee. 1 coat, big and brown, for working in the snow. 4 o'clock, the sun is down and all must leave the woods. 4 miles down the lanes until they reach the light. One dance hall brightly lit, the band plays loud and clear. 10 shades of lipstick, red, smile big and bright. 47 servicemen are at the weekend dance. 2 hands willing to hold, and 1 stout heart. One pair of woolen socks pulled up to the knee. 2,000 lumberjills singing "Timber Ho!" 10 million trees cut and sent into the war. as telegraph poles and roadblocks and pit props and more, as warships and fast trains and airplanes galore, as wood for trucks and wood for crates, wood for fences, wood for gates. "10 million trees cut and sent into the world for those at home and those away, that faith and hope would light the way, 2 hands willing to work and 1 stout heart." "1 pair of woolen socks pulled up to the knee, 16 train cars chugging up the tracks. "4 faithful brown boots coming down the road, 2 loving parents wave and kiss their girl hello, 27 good friends singing the same song of 2 hands willing to work and 1 stout heart." That's that. I hope you guys liked that one. So up next is instructions not included. How a team of women coded the future. That one is by Tammy Lewis Brown and Debbie Lauren Dunn. Not so long ago, there were no computers. Math problems were solved with pencil and paper. Telephones with rotary dials were tethered to wires. Mail arrived in an envelope carried by a postman. Files were stored in paper, folders, and metal cabinets. All that work took lots of steps and lots of people and lots of time. If you'll remember from my Hidden Figures story time, computers were people, not laptops or things that we know now, tablets, things like that. But some people thought there was a better way, an automatic way to solve routine problems by using a machine. 3 computer pioneers, Betty Snyder, Jean Jennings, and Kay McNulty. And their computer, ENIAC. A computer, like Betty, different from anything anybody had ever seen. Like Jean, persistent and consistent. Like Kay, no mistakes, every answer perfect. A computer programmed to perform like the women who made it, and like computers still perform today. This is their story. It's the 1930s. Left-handed Betty, out of place, stands on the wrong side of her double bass. The conductor scolds. "Make it sound silky, make it bellow deep." Cross-eyed, bullied, and teased, she plucks the strings with a stubborn zeal. Betty Snyder plays her own way. Farm girl Jean, tall and lean, winds up and rocks back. Her softball hits the side of the barn. 1,000 tosses, 1,000 throws, 1,000 pitches, until every ball strikes the tiny tin target. Jean Jennings aims to win. A plus K never misses a day. She skips 3rd grade on up to 4th. Her pencil pirouettes, eraser confetti flies. Perfect attendance, perfect report cards, perfect behavior. Even a prize for perfect handwriting. Kay McNulty curtsies to the crowd. Betty, Jean, and Kay do not know one another. Not yet. But in her sleep, Betty dreams of music and equations, while in a one-room schoolhouse, Jean masters 5th, 6th, and 7th grade math, all in 1 year. And in her Irish accent, Kay tutors her big brothers, first English, then poetry, and then, of course, arithmetic. The girls are brilliant, brave, and bold, but best of all, they love math. Now it is 1944. The world is at war. All hands on deck, America calls. A secret lab in the University of Pennsylvania, 100 women called computers solve tens of thousands of math problems using only paper, pencils, and adding machines. Which angle to aim a gun and when to launch a bomb. They calculate around the clock to win the war with math. But upstairs, there's a bigger secret, a top secret, a secret weapon. Upstairs, circuits are soldered, panels built, cables strung, and switches wired. Upstairs, a machine is being born, one that will do the work of all the human computers in a fraction of the time. The machine's name is ENIAC. It weighs 30 tons, and it's 100 feet long. Some say when they switch ENIAC on, the lights of Philadelphia dim. It will take more than one mind to realize a dream as big as ENIAC. It will take engineers and electricians, machinists, and mathematicians. A half dozen mathematicians, including Betty, Jean, and Kay, are invited upstairs to solve some of the most complicated problems anyone has ever faced, to invent a way to tell a machine to perform complex calculations at record speeds, to make sure its answers are always correct. ENIAC comes with no guidelines or rules, instructions not included. And at first, the women aren't allowed to touch or even see the computer. Still, the bosses shout, "Do the math and make it work." Sounds pretty tricky, don't you think? Engineers solder circuit boards and machinists forge frames, and Betty, Jean, and Kay begin to adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, translating math's logic into a code that will command ENIAC to perform. As the mighty machine comes together and electricity and data begin to flow, the team now toggles hundreds of switches on ENIAC's front plug countless tubes into its back and string miles of wire between the panels. They sing and dance and calculate around the clock until they fall asleep. Finally, Betty, Jean, and Kay are ordered to unveil ENIAC to dignitaries, generals, and even their own bosses. In 2 weeks' time, they are expected to demonstrate ENIAC's speed and power, to prove this machine is worthy of the huge investment, and to show that computers have a future in war and in peace. With a massive stack of punch cards, Betty, Jean, and Kay send information to the computer and program ENIAC for its debut. It's a complicated test problem, an artillery launch, with many variables like air temperature, altitude, weight, and speed, all calculated in a flash, with just one chance to hit the target. And ENIAC isn't ready. What are they going to do? While Betty and Jean pitch ideas, untangle logical knots, and imagine solutions above and beyond, Kay checks the calculations the old-fashioned way with pencil and paper. Kay's answers are always right, but can ENIAC perform as well? Or will it stumble? Project canceled, expensive machine scrapped, brilliant mathematicians sent home, ending it all. For the world's fastest computer and for Betty and Jean and Kay. The women set up the problem. Click, whir, buzz. ENIAC spits out the result. Answer, wrong. When the imaginary shell strikes the ground, it doesn't explode. The missile continues down, 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 and disappears deep beneath the Earth's crust. Betty and Jean reanalyze. Kay recalculates, readjust, rework, reprogram, then start all over again. Click, whir, buzz. Click, whir, buzz. But ENIAC is still wrong. Where is the trouble? Where is the bug? Tomorrow the dignitaries and generals and bosses will march in, and ENIAC's answer will still be wrong. But the women and their computer can't fail. Not now. Not with so much at stake. They recalculate, reanalyze, and program again. Finally, exhausted, Betty falls asleep, but her mind is still awake, and suddenly she dreams the solution. ENIAC's program is repeating one of the calculations. ENIAC and the bomb don't know when to stop. So the women toggle a single switch out of thousands to change the equation. Then they take a deep, deep breath. And they hope. The next morning, the dignitaries and generals and bosses march in. Arms fold up, lips purse, brows wrinkle. Click, whir, buzz. Click, 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 click. Out shoots a key punch card with the answer. Right! The dignitaries and generals and bosses congratulate themselves. Good job, great show. The men shake each other's hands. We've done it! And they march out for their celebration banquet. But there are no congratulations for the programmers. The women and ENIAC celebrate alone. Still the next day, and the next, and the next, and the next, Betty and Jean and Kay keep programming. To solve the biggest problems, computer memory has to be elegantly organized, as carefully composed as a symphony. Betty arranges computer memory in logical harmony. Now the machine shifts data with a single command. Her innovation is called sort merge. To repeat a procedure without moving the machine's wires, a computer must remember and replay. Jean makes computers hold their instructions, like a star pitcher whose arm has a memory of its own. Her innovation is called a stored program. To make computers faster, smaller, and more powerful, they must do more with less. Kay shuffles the code, so computers are smart and thrifty. Her innovation is called reducing and reusing memory. Betty, Jean, and Kay unleash their talents, share their secrets, pair their smarts with the computer's speed. Exploring, creating, inventing, using math in a way that nobody had ever dreamed of, unraveling problems that no one had ever solved before. Until ENIAC is not the only computer, or even the fastest computer. Until the whole world is different and new, an entire computer age is born. That's the end. I hope you guys liked this. And I will see you for our history webisodes on St. Patrick's Day and Women's History. Bye guys. Thanks for joining.